I know I ordered some. I'm gonna go check the dessert desk.
I don't know. It's time to live on. Everybody smiling today? All right. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Sluggers, the most astute over 50 baseball group in the country that will never forget such colorful names as Sammy White, the old Bull Sox catcher, Joe Black, Bobby Brown, Humphrey Green, Violet Blue, Pete Gray, and LeBron Orange, Rusty Stop. This meeting is number 530, the start of season number 21. Whoa, I was thinking like 10. Okay, today's discussion topics include the following. For the team that you root for, GPS system add more pressure to the players? And if you were an umpire, how would you feel about the system if you had several of your calls overturned? Now, during the course of the meeting, we'll watch a video covering the pitches involving the ABS system and the various rule situations. We will also watch a video covering the late Bill Marazzi's and his walk-off home run to win Game 7 of the 1960 World Series. Slugger Ken Margot will make a presentation on the Hall of Fame career of Christy Baptist, and we will also play tribute. So, welcome back to another great baseball season.
Does anyone need a
Hey! We don't have Vinny here. Anybody want to volunteer to take me on? Carlson. Huh? Over there. Come on up.
I don't mind pitching for Denny. He's a little under the weather with the Red Sox
Go, man. Go.
Nelly Kelly of baseball games, to the players and all their names. You consider their every day Chevrolet when they play. Her boyfriend by the name of Joe said to Tony, here let's go. Then Nelly started to fret and pout, and to him I heard her shout, take me out to the ball game, take me out with the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and cracker jacks. I don't care if I ever get back. And root for the Yankees. If they don't win, it's a shame. Or it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game.
By the way, Joe forgot to introduce the tremendous Mr. Marazzi I said Joe forgot to introduce me, so I told him. Okay. First of all, welcome back, everybody, and before I forget, have a happy Easter, happy Passover, okay? And what we do is, for anybody who's here for the first time, give us your name. If you remember the first ball game you went to, where you're from, of course. First game you went to, and a team you root for. So we'll start in this row. We have this young man here.
Hi, I'm Jack, his grandson. The first game I ever went to was at Yankee Stadium. I was like 5. I barely even remember it, but I do remember small parts like getting a Subway sandwich. But I'm also from Beacon Falls, so a few towns over in that direction.
Good job. Thank you very much. Hey, Silver, a Yankee fan?
Yes.
Of course. Grandpa here. Okay, very good. All right. You go to Roger Williams College in Rhode Island?
Yes.
Oh, good luck to you. Very good. Okay. Who else is new back there? We haven't seen before. Anybody else? Okay. My friends back here. Madison? Tell us about you, Madison. You can stand up if you don't mind. Now Madison has a TV star, by the way. She has her own podcast, Yankee Podcast. Right, Madison. Louder.
My name is Madison. I'm from Cheshire, and my first TV was in 2018. It was a big win against the Royals.
Your first game was 2018, and the Yankees played Detroit, did you say? The Royals. Who won that game, you remember? Oh, good. Okay. Now, I know you have season tickets for the Yankees, right?
No, I don't.
But you don't? Okay, but you go often. How often is your podcast?
Every other week.
Every other week? Good. Well, hopefully we'll be able to watch you a few times this year. Okay, let's get Madison. Anybody let's go down there, we'll get a mattress. If you guys, both the men and women, get to the finals, we win. We get all the money back. So we went down there a couple months ago. We got a mattress. Now we each have to win one more game, the men and the women. We get money back. So root for the Huskies. Pardon me? Yeah. And by the way, there's one more man back here. Mark does a lot of work with me. A guy from our studios, Mark Carino, and each year I put out a rule ball video, and Mark is my main tech guy. And so sometimes when you see, when I send out YouTube links about plays, he's the guy you have to thank. He was there years ago. Mark's a longtime Yankee fan. Anything else, Mark, we should know about you?
I want to know what happened to your mattress, how it wore out.
I thought somebody would ask that question. You've heard enough. So, okay, good. All right. How many people, by the way, followed the WBC? The World Baseball Classic. I just wanted to show you one thing here. And you watch the expression on Judge's face. And you can see how these guys were so much into it. This is the first year that I got into it. I didn't watch it often in the past. Okay. How come we can't hear it? They're not hearing. Yeah, I got it right here.
Mute button, is there a mute button on?
You play? Muted? I tell you what, there's trouble. That's right. I'll just stop. I'll see if I can get Mark up here. Pardon me? If you would. Good. Okay, so anyway, I'm going to show you that in a few minutes. But hopefully it'll work, as I guess some pretty good stuff for today's first action. So meanwhile, we'll go through the birthdays. Today, remember C.E. Caviglia? He turned 62 today. 206 home runs, pretty good career. Former Red Sox pitcher Al Nipper turned 67 today. Reggie Smith, former Red Sox and Dodger, right? Is 81. Remember the movie 61? Okay, well, they brought Reggie Smith in, okay, to teach the guy who took Mickey Mantle's part balance as a switch hitter. And he worked off a balancing board and so forth to show that when he takes a swing, he can look like a major leaguer. But they brought Reggie Smith in for that move here, I recall. Mike Kekich, he is also 81 today. Remember he traded wives? Okay, with Fritz Peterson? That's good. Maury Allen, longtime writer with the New York Post, he told me that he had Peterson and Kekich over to his house that night for a cookout. And Maury and his wife went to bed, it was getting late, and they heard them talking out in the driveway. He said that was the night they decided that they were going to make the switch. And crazy story. Like you Mets fans, remember Al Weiss? Mark, we get no sound down here. Al Weiss, remember him? Okay, he's 88 today. Tomorrow, Gary Pettis is 68. Rod Gasper, okay? I had to put his name down, but he has his birthday tomorrow. Saturday, Scott Rowland, who's in the Hall of Fame now, turns 51. Tommy Herr will be 70. And Mike Epstein will be 83. Okay? Sunday, ex-pitcher Chris Carpenter is 61. Monday, Hall of Famer Burt Blyleven will be 75. Phil the Vulture Regan, who's nice pitching coach, I remember. Remember? No. He'll be 89. Okay, you got it. You got it. You start. Thank you. Good marking, Mason. Burke be home by 11. Very good. That was, remember Chris Berman, all these sayings? Yeah. Bruce Eggs Benedict. Remember that? She had me favorite everybody. Very colorful guy. Pardon me? Sea Crew, right. Joe, you know Chris Berman, you used to work with him? Let's get him over here one day for a speaker. Huh? You work for you? That's right. Let's come over here one day for a Sluggers meeting.
He wants to go to Brown University, and the guy that was changing the radio station up in Waterbury, he knew Chris because they both were from Greenwich.
Yeah.
So he says, why don't you take a look at Chris? Chris with us as a kid, show me most of the whole thing. I said, sure. So we did, and Chris started my, what do you call it, my traffic guy.
Traffic guy?
Yeah, he was my traffic guy.
He was your wingman.
That's right. He was out there driving around the WMBR car, and we had this contest we called it the Stick It On Your Rear and Win Bumper Sticker. And we would give away, Chris would be out there after he did the morning traffic report, and then he would find the car that was in front of him that had the bumper sticker on it.
Yeah.
He'd call into the radio station with a license number, and then whoever was on the air would read the license number on the air and say, you're a winner today, all you have to do is pull over. And Chris he had a whole bunch of LPs and stuff with the car. So when you pull somebody over, he asks them what they like, and they come up with other details. And the funny thing is, I think it comes a year later, that we met his wife as one of those winners.
Oh, really?
We pulled her over, and he met her. So that was a good prize, I guess.
I guess it was.
Yeah. They started him on a talk show. He and Bob Saget. They did a thing called Call Sports, and they were great. We did high school football, we did high school basketball, and Bob was the play-by-play guy, and I told Chris, he's going to be the color guy, because he has such a great personality.
Yeah.
And he knows so much stuff. And he started doing, the little fun games with the ball players at the radio station too. So when he started doing it on ESPN, I just kind of sat for that. And also the most important thing is, when they hired Chris, he did the all-night show at ESPN. But all night, but at midnight in Connecticut or New York, before they were here on the East Coast, 9 o'clock on the West Coast. So it was both Coop, Brian, time. So that's how Chris, really made his bones. It was on the West Coast.
Yeah.
All those people are seeing him, for 3 hours on the West Coast and people on the East Coast.
Right.
Really couldn't see him. And just one more tidbit is that Chris was a San Francisco Giants fan.
He was.
His whole life. And they finally asked him to do the games. He wanted to do them for years. They finally asked him to do games out in San Francisco, and he turned it down because he was making more money than ESPN.
Really? Well, thanks for your insights.
That's it.
By the way, one important announcement. When you're watching the Yankee games, you know how they have the veterans of the game, okay? Our own Mark Levine was chosen. Mark is a Vietnam veteran, and he was chosen for the 2028 season. Right, Mark? Right?
Yeah.
Because I guess 2027
Everybody's invited.
is already booked up.
They're just still around.
Because there might be a strike next year, but we don't really know, okay? But anyway, Mark's going to be on in 2028, so you're going to be on the field at Yankee Stadium?
Right.
They give you a shirt and everything?
I think I have to wear my own, I think.
You can wear your own?
I have to wear my own.
Well, let's congratulate Mark. was on this date in 1972 that Gil Hodges died of a heart attack. Remember that day? Very, very, very sad day. He's 48 years old. Unbelievable. And then Yogi Berra was named manager. In 1976, the A's traded free agents Reggie Jackson and Ken Holtzman with the minor league pitchers to the Orioles for Don Baylor, Mike Torres, and Paul Mitchell. And here's a good one for you. On this date in 1982, an exhibition game against the Padres, A's pitcher Steve McCadden stepped to the plate wielding a 15-inch toy bat on the instructions of manager Billy Martin, who was upset that his club was not allowed to use a designated hitter in spring training games at National League parks. Home plate umpire Jim Quick refused to let McCaddy use the bat, and McCaddy takes 3 strikes, strike him out. Okay? But in 1996, one-ring slugger Cecil Fielder stole the first base of his career. He had 2 stolen bases in his entire career. His son Prince, how many stolen bases do you think he had? Cecil had 2. Prince had 18. How many bases do you think Babe Ruth had stolen bases? 116. Lou Gehrig had 102. Ted Williams, you Red Sox fans, how many do you have, you think? 24. 24. Very good.
Well, Stick.
Who?
Stick.
Oh, when he was healthy, he had a few. Okay? I thought we'd do something to just clear our, a little bit, we'll say rust off. I'll give you a name, okay? I'll give you a first name. Steve can give me 2 or 3 other people in Major League Baseball over the years with the same first name. Easy one to start with. Willie. You gotta raise your hand.
Hey.
Willie Mays.
Stargell.
Willie Stargell.
Akins.
Willie Mays Akins.
McCovey.
Who? Horton. Willie Horton. Very good. Okay, how about Mickey? McDermott. Mickey McDermott. Mickey Stanley. Mickey Mantle.
Mickey Rivers.
Mickey Rivers. Mickey Cochran.
Gasper.
Who?
No. Mickey Gasper.
Who's Mickey Gasper?
Who makes the leader?
The hell is Mickey Gasper?
You don't know.
What did I miss? Did it make a different life or something? Or what? I know Rod Gasper. I have another one for you. How about Al? Al.
Al Kaline.
Al Kaline.
Al Kanikowski.
Al Kanikowski. Al Rosen.
Al Simmons.
Al Simmons.
Al Leiter.
Oh, one at a time. One at a time. Al Oliver.
Al Leiter.
Al Leiter.
Downey.
Who?
Downey.
Al Downing.
Cirilla.
Al Cirilla. Very good. Very good. And one more.
Al McBean.
Al Lopez. One more. Andy. Andy Carey.
Echeverry.
Andy Etcheberry.
Seminary.
Andy Seminick.
Pettit.
Andy Pettit.
Andy Pack.
Andy Pafko.
Van Slyke.
Andy Van Slyke. Very good.
Hawkins.
Andy who?
Andy Hawkins.
Andy Hawkins. Very good.
Hey, Rich, I just want to clarify, Mickey Gasper is a 30-year-old first baseman in the Red Sox minor league system.
Now, how is Billy know that?
Just so you know.
30-year-old minor league system. He's second, but we're supposed to know Mickey Gasper.
The catcher.
Oh, some of you sluggers are a little bit off the wall.
That's first baseman.
I appreciate it. By the way, the new managers this year, in case you're not up to date with it, the Rangers have Skip Schumacher. By the way, speaking of the Rangers, they got beat by the Orioles yesterday on a walk-off ABS. The pitch was called a ball, and the catcher challenged it, reversed the strike 3, and that's how the Orioles won the game. Walk-off, first time in baseball history. Okay. Anyway, the new Rangers manager is Skip Schumacher. Angels manager is Kurt Suzuki. Giants is Tony Vitello, who was a college coach last year at Tennessee. Orioles is Greg Alvarez, don't know him. Twins is Derek Shelton. Nationals is Blake Butera. Braves is Walt Weiss. Padres, Greg Stammen. And and Rocky's Warren Schaefer. You know, over the years, you get maybe 2 or 3 managerial changes, and 9. I think it was 9 this year. So that's how the business is today. Excuse my horse.
I got a question. Who was the last player manager?
The last player manager, I believe, was Pete Rose.
That's what I was thinking.
Pete Rose, when he managed the Reds, also played with the Reds. He was the last player manager. Okay?
Vitello is the only first manager in Major League history with no prior Major League
Right.
experience.
He jumped right from college to the major leagues. No wishing mark. Okay, good. And Rocco Baldelli, the former Twins manager, is now an advisor in the Dodgers organization. What do you think of your Dodgers, Rocco? All right. I guess it's the next topic. For the team you root for, we've only even played 6 games so far. What is your perception? We'll start with the Mets. You Mets fans here. What do you think, Mike?
Well, it's a little disappointing that nobody seems to be hitting at the moment. After the first game, we put a lot of stock into defense, and we're not seeing it out in the field. And we got a lot of guys playing new positions and out of position, and it shows.
Yeah.
We had our right fielder who's a rookie go backwards on a pop fly yesterday in the 11th inning, cost them the game.
I saw that, yeah.
A little disappointing, but it's early.
Well, Linder had a back day yesterday.
A horrible day. I mean,
He
I
feels the
think
ground
too many-
ball. It was double places. Tell us about it, Mike.
Well, he managed to not only forget that there was 2 outs in the game, and he let a guy.
He thought there were 2 outs.
He thought there was 2 outs.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. And he completed double play,
Yeah.
an easy double play. It didn't really hurt him, but then the following inning, he gets picked off at first base just before Soto hits a home run, which would have gave him 2 runs, which they lost the game by that margin.
So that's a bad day.
That's horrible.
That's a bad day. Any other Mets fans here want to comment on the Mets? Yes, John.
Yeah, they're not doing good so far, but it's early, very
Early?
My wife's in rare form. She yells at me because from the second time somebody got up and didn't get the runner in, I'm already yelling, "You're making $42 million. You're making 70. You're making this." She goes, "Already? It's the 3rd game."
Yeah.
So she got upset with me, and so I got to learn to curb it a little
It's
bit.
a long way to go yet. I see Ray back there. Ray DeAngelis.
Yes, it is.
All the way from California.
Yes.
Mr. Ray. Good. Any other Mets people want to make any comments? Yeah, Dan.
Yeah, the Mets pitching is as good as it can be. Oh, how can you go wrong when you figure what they went through last year
Yeah.
and how many people, and now they seem to be just as strong as they ever were. So, hey, it's 3 games and 3 games, 3 losses, 3 wins. Can't beat that.
Very early. Stay in the National League a little bit. How about the Cubs, Jeff? What you taking the Cubs right now?
I think they look really good. One problem, they changed their strategy on the bullpen. Last 3 years, they just picked up whatever they could off the scrap heap. This year, they signed a bunch, and so far they've been horrible. It's only 6 games.
Right.
Rest of the 8-man lineup is great.
Yeah.
The bench is better than it's been in a long time. So I think they're 90 wins or more.
What do you think of Consul as the manager?
He's perplexing. And, you know, he's supposed to be great, and sometimes he is, and other times you can't figure out what he's doing.
Now, you were in Arizona for quite a while in the winter, right?
Yeah.
Did the Cubs play often?
I share season tickets for spring training.
You do, huh?
So I saw all of them.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Or all of them. Yeah.
Anybody else? Danny, did you see the spring training games in North Florida?
Yeah.
Good. Anybody else here get to spring training this year? Okay, go. Let's get these up tonight, Dan. All right. Any other National League people here? Up the Phils. Ken Wargo. How's your Phils doing this year?
They're struggling.
Yeah.
Zach Wheeler's still on the They have a new right fielder named Garcia. I don't know much about him. They have another new left fielder. They have Don Mattingly as a bench coach. Supposedly he's supposed to help boost the team, but I think they're going to have a tough time because without Wheeler and they lost Ranger Suarez, they're going to have an uphill battle to be in contention.
Well, we'll see what happens. It's still early. Okay, let's go to the American League. Red Sox. Who wants to talk about your Red Sox? I know they're 1-5, but it's early game. Bill?
Well, bad enough if you have bad pitching, but when you have bad pitching and bad hitting,
That's not good.
you got a lot of, what's happened, what's going to happen. But
You know what?
It's too early. It's really too early.
The Yankees are 5-1 now, but they may have a part of the season where their hitting is bad, their pitching is bad, and they'll be 1-5 in the middle of the season. This is baseball, so just can't get too excited about anything right now. What I see, anyway. Okay, good. Anything else about the Red Sox? That's it. Okay, just be patient.
Fenway's a year older.
What's that?
Fenway's a year
Family's a
older.
year old, and so are you.
Don't stop looking in the mirror.
Okay. Anybody else?
Well,
Yes, Bill.
I'm pretty disappointed, but I will be taking my grandson there tomorrow for opening day.
Oh, good.
So,
Good.
it'll be about my 45th or 48th opening day.
This is your 45th opening day?
I think so, yeah.
Wow. Great. Very good. Very good. How many people plan to go to opening day tomorrow in the Yankee Stadium? Anybody? Oh, Madison. Very good. Very good. You want to take Mark with you? No? Okay. All right. Good. All right. How about the Yankees now? What do you think about the Yankees? Off to a good start. Any comments? Yes.
One thing I couldn't believe, the pundits before the season started said that the Yankees had the second best offense after the Dodgers. There must be a gap of a football field between the first and second. I just don't see that. Not because the Dodgers are so stacked. They really are. That's an off. They don't depend on just one player or two. How do they figure out how a team is good offense? Is it just numbers? Because if it's just numbers, for the Yankees, it's just a couple of players. I mean, when McMahon, Wells get up the bottom of the order, I mean, hopefully they'll have other guys pick up the slack because I can't understand McMahon. I mean, he just
They got to have to play defense.
I know, but he's got a bat in the lineup. Unless they come up with a rule. Maybe they should have a rule where you could pick who you want to DH for instead of the pitcher, like they have a nice one. No, and the other thing is, that I don't think it's a mirage because they're still not at full strength. The Yankee pitching, I know these last 6 games, their first 2 pitchers haven't allowed a run.
Right.
And the run, they've only given up, 5 runs all of them.
Yeah, they gave up 1 run in San Francisco and was it 5 runs this week? And yeah. So, but once again, the Yankees could be 15-1 right now if they don't win the World Series. That's how it is with the Yankees. Right.
Yes, I just came back from San Francisco. I saw Game 3 out there
You did?
at Oracle Park. A lot of Yankee fans out there, so Yankee fans are everywhere, as we well know, so it's good to see a good bunch of us at the Oracle Park watching the Yankees take care of the Giants. It was a fun atmosphere out there. And when we go to the games, we take the ferry across. It's an hour ride from San Rafael down to the ballpark. You don't drive, you just walk onto the ferry for $15 and it takes you right to the ballpark. It's a great way to go see the game. On my way back, I ran into some friends that were Yankee fans, and I ran into the grandson of a Yankee 1949 player named Johnny Lindell.
Oh, yeah,
And
sure.
the fellow had his World Series ring on from his grandfather.
No kidding. Johnny Lindell.
He let me try it on, so.
One of my first baseball cards.
So that was my little story anyway. So.
Hey, Ray, let me ask you a question. Is Oracle Park as beautiful as it looks on TV?
Absolutely. Absolutely great place to watch the game. It's a little bit too big, I think, for the Giants. They get into trouble because a lot of fly balls that should be out are caught.
Yeah.
I guess Barry Bonds didn't have any problem with it. He had some help
you ever want to get in one of those boats outside right field on the water out there?
My son was actually in those kayaks.
He was?
When we had the All-Star game.
No kidding.
So he was out there trying to get some balls, but yeah, they're out there, fishing boats are out there.
Good.
Great atmosphere, I think their cap is around 41,000 for a sellout, and obviously it was a sellout game being in town.
Wow, very good. Ray's a former colleague of mine. Let's get Ray in there. I know you're out here. Okay, yes, Ken.
A long way to come, but it was worth it.
Ken?
I don't know if you guys saw the opening day in Baltimore, Camden Yards.
Yeah.
The fellow who threw out the first pitch was a 109-year-old
Yes.
World War II veteran and Korean War veteran. Standing
109 years old.
ovation, outstanding.
I got that on tape. I think I have it on tape. I'm going to show you today too. So we'll see. Under that, and he walked out.
Yep.
About maybe 15 feet from home plate, and he got the ball. It hit the ground. 109 years old.
Wow.
Are you kidding me? You know. So you guys are like kids. So don't think you're too old. 109 years old. Wow. Very, very good. Okay. Good. Anything else about the Madison?
I think that we're going to see a lot of them hitting for contact this year instead of resistance for the fences. I think that's a really good thing.
You think we're going to see a lot of what this year?
Hitting for contact.
Hitting for contact.
Instead of swinging for the fences.
It might be right. You might be right. I think the idea is to get out base and score runs, right? Of course, yesterday you got a 3-run homer. That's important too.
Yeah,
You know?
and I think we're doing a lot without offensive production from Judge right now.
Yeah?
So, shows that he can.
Are you worried about Judge right now? No. I'm not. I don't think you should be. Good. So Madison, you watch almost every Yankee game? The whole game?
Yeah.
Wow, we got some real big fans.
No,
Let's give Madison a nice hand.
I know all the Yankee fans here. Well, I shouldn't say that because you're not that good. But if you watch the first game and they were on that, I don't know if you feel the same way. But I felt like Netflix was trying to do something. Obviously, they haven't done before. They were trying to put on a show.
Yeah.
Instead of letting the game be the show, it was all about three guys in the booth there trying to make each other laugh.
Exactly. It was distracting.
I was so distracted, so much so.
Especially Cece, he was laughing all the time.
Yeah, oh yeah, every one of them. And I said to myself, boy, I can't believe I turned off the sound. I didn't put the radio on. I just turned off the sound. I said, I just can't,
That was it.
let the game breathe.
Yeah.
And it was just, I said, oh my God, I hope they don't have to play any more games here. But on Netflix.
Yeah.
It was terrible.
I think they got the All-Star game, don't they?
They might. But everybody's trying to do that now. So you don't need three guys in the booth.
No.
So, it's ridiculous. And when everything is supposed to be this and that, inundating you with all the stats and all that stuff, it's like, oh my God. Just shut up a few minutes. To me, and you and I, and a lot of people here, when you watch games back in the 50s, I mean, it was so easy to watch. I mean, if you have any of those old tapes, actual play-by-play back in the 50s, you'll see how the game is so simplistic.
Yeah.
And you're only dealing with one, sometimes two guys in the pool. And, it was so unmoved.
Yeah.
Very, very,
Yeah.
quickly.
I learned about the TV broadcast. When I worked for the ESPN, they sent me out to Oakland to work a division series game, or playing game, whatever it was. And I was part of the broadcast. I had the headset on. In front of me was Alex Rodriguez, Jessica Mendoza, and Matt Visurgian. And anyway, what I learned was that I could hear the producer talking to the talents the whole game. It's amazing how much the producer tells the talents what they want to hear. A lot of talk you hear on TV is not talk they do themselves that they want to talk about. They'll be dictated by the producer on what to talk about.
Wow.
Yeah, and you'll hear between innings say, okay, now we'll open up. Let's go to this. Let's go to that. That was amazing how much interruption there was from the producer to the people that are on the air. We don't hear that as we watch TV as fans. But I thought it was interesting. Mark?
Randy Levine, no relation, president of the Yankees, was interviewed a couple of days ago about the game being on Netflix. And they were against it. The Yankees were against it. This was Major League Baseball call about being on Netflix. It had nothing to do with the Yankees wanting to be on Netflix.
Look, you look at Netflix, Prime TV, Apple, okay, gambling with FanDuel, okay. All this is a money grab. That's why I say it. It's just a big money grab.
$50 million.
Yeah. And they're not in the bottom part of the screen that if you have a gambling problem, call this number. What are you kidding me? You know, it's a money grab. It's sick, I think. But Rich.
Two things on that, score was like $50 million for 3 games for over 3 years. It's crazy. And they had the announcers on for that game, and they said they have a list of questions. You wouldn't think they would ask a question of the Major League Baseball, what do they call it? Commission, about that rich deal. They didn't ask a simple question. But my Yankees, I have empathy for the Boston Red Sox and John for the Mets. It's early. But the Yankees still have the problems they had last year, and they haven't been fixed. They don't have a right-handed hitting catcher. They have catchers that hit 2. They solve first base, which is great. They don't have a good utility man for third or second base.
Oh, wait a minute now.
They have Rosario.
Oh, Rosario, he's not bad.
He's okay, but how's he going to get in the line? They're afraid to use him.
You can't have Mike Schmidt in for the Knicks. I'm talking about, I mean, you're not going to have an all-star every position. It doesn't work that way.
Well, the way the Yankees want that.
Well,
I mean, we won with a great third baseman in the World Series. What was his name? Huh? Scott? Rosos.
oh yeah.
All right, you don't have to have a...
No, you don't. No, you don't.
You don't. The guy is a tough out.
You look here. Those years the Yankees won those World Series. You take Rivera off the team. Just Rivera. Oh, and how many do they win? I would doubt they win more than 1 or 2.
Well, they wouldn't have traded
Okay?
away West.
You put Jeter, who was a great player,
Yep.
one of the greatest Yankees ever, put him on the Royals during his career. Would he have the same status he has today?
No.
Probably not. Would he be the same amount of World
They can
Series?
work away.
Probably not. Right? But you look at Ernie Banks. Right, Jeff? Ernie Banks has never played in the World Series. He's a great baseball player. Okay? Ted Williams played in 1 World Series. Was 5 for 25, I believe. Okay? Won 1 World Series. And, no problem. He was sick, too. But anyway,
It's early.
it's early. It's early, but once we get to end of July, August, like Yogi said, it's getting late early, right? John?
The Yankees don't have enough tough outs. I think the leadoff, Grisham, was the toughest out on the team now. And I watched the opening day. I had my daughter hijack Netflix, because I just got rid of it about a month ago.
Yeah.
So the first half inning, the pitcher for the Giants, he just mowed them down like nothing. And I said, oh, it's going to be a long season. Because at the end of the second inning, it was 5-0 game.
See, now, did you hear what John just said? First inning, first game, the Yankees got mowed down. You think it's going to be a long season. How can you think about a long season after 3 hitters? 3 at-bats. I'm trying to get you guys to downshift a little bit. I'm going to bring in a blood pressure monitor to come in. You see, Jack's up here with the blood pressure, okay? And I'll just say this, as far as the Yankees go, I'll take their lineups 1 through 6 over anybody right now. Dodgers, they would be up there too. But you can't follow the Yankees have. And to me, Ben Rice, he might be the best pure hitter of the Yankees. Pure hitter. Out of 4 at-bats, you watch Ben Rice, remember what I said. At 4 at-bats, he'll hit the ball hard twice. He may not always get a hit, but he hits the ball on the screws. Okay? Ben Rice, he's going to have a great career. Okay? And so you got like Rice, Judge, and Bellinger, and Grisham's not bad. Okay? It's not too bad. But anyway,
Nice to have Paul Goldschmidt come on.
yes, he came
His right, no?
And you know what I like too is the guy that picked up Richard. He's going to be pretty good off the bench this year. Hey, let's get moving here. Yes.
The American League East is a beast.
Yeah.
And it could come out anyway. But the team that I fear the most is the Red Sox.
Well, they're the first runs.
Yes, sir. Because they vetted their pitching staff. And we have these players, they have the Roman Anthony, Abreu, Duran. They can't find a place for all those three, because they got Rafaela. They're stacked, right?
Well, look, it's going to be a close race. Original time for Trump's going to be very good. All right. Now, let's get to the ABS. That's our main topic for today, basically. I'm going to ask you people, from what you've seen so far, we're going to talk about the positive points first. Okay? Then we'll talk about the flaws. Okay? And we'll see if we can flaw. You know what that means? Okay? So, let's talk about the positive points first. What do you like about the ABS system? Let's hear from those who like it and why. Comments? Yes.
Seems more consistent.
More consistent.
Well, if they only miss by a fraction of an inch.
Okay.
So umpire always never calls an outside pitch or a high pitch.
Okay. So John says umpiring will be more consistent. Okay. All right. Who's next over here? Bill.
You've got to learn when to use it, because like the Red Sox the other day, they used it too soon in the game, and then when it got to where they could have used it better later in the game, they didn't have it. But what I like is these umpires. Can you imagine if, who was the guy, Hernandez?
Yeah.
Imagine if he was out there, and how many calls would have been overruled or whatever. It's going to be embarrassing for some of these umpires, because the guy the other day, what was his name?
J.B. Buckner.
C.B. Buckner. Yeah, I mean, how many what did he have? 4 or
6 out of 8 and 20 that were actually out of the strike zone.
Because it's going to be interesting to see that, and it's turning out to be pretty good.
Okay. So you're in favor of it?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Who else has any positive comments about it? Yes, Mark.
At this point, I'm not a fan. I go on the record as saying I'm not a fan at this point in the technology. But I think it's going to make the umpires up their game. That's the positive part.
Okay, all right. And one thing I would agree with is that if you're an umpire, and let's say, for instance, that you look at your work after the game, you look at the videos, and that you find out over a period of a number of games that you have a weak spot by the knees, you see, that might help an umpire make an adjustment there. Okay, with all the review, I don't know, it could. So I'll go along with that. Okay, Chris. Mike.
Is Major League Baseball going to evaluate the umpires based on the results of calls, being accurate, or?
First of all, the umpires union is very strong. For MLB to get involved with umpires and get these guys out of baseball, very, very tough. Okay, so don't worry about MLB. Worry about the umpires union and how they're going to handle this. That's how I see it.
Well, do you think the union will say, you're terrible, 80% of your calls that are challenged are overturned?
Well, let me say this to you.
Do that because they're
let me say this to you. If I made 3 calls last night that were overturned, okay, and I was off by 1.5 inches, or 0.2 of an inch, you gonna fire me for that? And that's what you're saying. If you guys talk about C.B. Buckner, okay, or other umpires, and they're off by 1/10 of an inch, then we'll get to this in a little more elaborate, okay? But I don't see how you would evaluate an umpire just by the ABS system. John?
Yeah,
said, he's on the air with David Cohn. He says, what the system has shown so far is how good the umpires are. Okay? Now, you can take a glass half empty or a glass half full. All right? And, yeah.
What would this do to a guy like Ray Maddox?
Oh, problem. Problem. Because he lived off the 17 inches. Okay, problem. He'd have to adjust. He'd have to adjust, okay? Mike, you got your hand up.
I just wanted to say that CD is not the most famous butler for making the errors that we've watched.
You're right.
Danny.
There's a good story in the paper about the baseball players lying about how tall they were. Guys used to say they were 6'2". Now, all guys lie that their height is higher than, and now they're coming out. This guy said I was 6'2". He's only 6 feet.
Well, you know, they measure these guys in spring training between 10 in the morning and noon. Because as the day goes on, they say our bodies shrink. Now, when they measure these guys, okay, they measure them in stocking feet, not with their cleats on. Okay? All right? And every player, we'll use the term, is anybody here 6 feet tall? Exactly 6 feet? Okay? We're pretty close, right? Okay. If you're 6 feet tall, I mean, everybody in baseball is going to have the same strike zone as 6 feet tall. Now, the only difference is that everybody has a different approach to the ball. Now, this is the official baseball rule book. I don't know how official it is anymore. Okay? But I just want to read you just one thing here about the strike zone. Okay? It says that the strike zone should be determined from the batter's stance as the batter is prepared to swing at the pitch ball. That means as the batter is prepared to swing. When these guys are measured, they're measured in their stance, not in their swing. So if I'm a batter, okay, maybe I did a little bit lower on my swing. Other batters a little bit higher. So how could they accurately calculate that for each individual player? You all have a different strike zone. Anyway, we'll get more to what, to me, that's a flaw in the whole system.
Isn't it the armpits?
What's that?
Isn't it
Well, it's the
armpit?
actually was is the top of the zone. It actually is around the solar plexus area. Okay, the top of the zone is the solar. As you're into your swing, that's basically it. And the hollow of the knee. Yes, John.
You know, you're talking a lot about the height, but you get just as many bad calls on inside and outside.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So you can't just restrict it to the height.
No. Oh, no. And no. If you look at the box they use is a rectangle, 17 inches wide. The ball's got to travel at least 8.5 inches before it's picked up by the ABS. Okay. If this was home plate right here, okay, and the ball came here and right off to the side, no good. It's got to travel at least 8.5 inches, anywhere up here, at least 8.5 inches. You see. Here's my point. I umpired 23 years. Okay. Rudy has umpired a long time with us here. Okay. All right. When you umpire, okay, first of all, let me ask you a question. Is the strike zone something that you can see, or is it an imaginary line? It's an imaginary line. An imaginary line. Now, listen to this, right? So, the top of the strike zone, okay, is 53.5 inches from if you're 6 feet tall, 53.5 inches from the ground. How tall you are? 53.5 inches, okay? And what I'm saying is this: how could an umpire, okay, determine 0.5 from the 53.5 when that ball's coming in at 95 miles an hour, and it could be, you can't do it. And so all of a sudden the catcher taps his head, or the batter taps, you go to replay, and they found out the umpire blew the call by this much.
I don't have a problem with that.
You know,
I don't have a problem with anything, an inch or so. It's when I see balls that are 2 inches off.
I agree.
That is, to me, a
So why doesn't the ABS system, why don't they say, you know what? If it's 2 inches off, then we're going to reverse the call. They're reversing calls now that are like 1/8 of an inch off the plate.
0.1.
0.1. I saw the one the other day.
Last night.
How do you, so that umpire is challenged 5 times, and he's wrong 4 times, it's .1 one time, .4 another time, another time, and you're saying this guy's doing a bad job?
I don't have a
Come
problem.
on. What?
I don't have a problem with
No,
that message.
I agree 100%.
You know,
If it's egregious, yeah, if it's
Well,
egregious,
it's like this.
yeah. I say if you're 2 inches off, boom, you deserve to have the car reversed. But my God, to have a car reversed when it's this close.
But the problem is that they show exactly what it's been measured at. You know, it comes up on the TV
Yeah.
screen for everything. And so what are they gonna say? Well, it was close enough. No. You know, it's only close enough for horseshoes and hand grenades, not balls and strikes. That's the way. That's why they're showing it. You
Well,
know,
let me ask you a question.
1/10 of an inch.
Why didn't T-Mobile is the one that powers this, right?
Yeah.
Why didn't they look at the rule book and adjust what I just read to you? It's in the batters, he's about to make a swing. Well, there's nothing in there about that anymore. So you must get this rule book and just tear it up. It's not worth it. Okay? And anybody who's umpired here, okay, will tell you, you can't change your strike zone. If you have a certain strike zone for a number of years, you don't change it. It's hard to change. So you're telling me on the knees, I gotta go down about 1/8 of an inch or a 1/2 inch? Man, that's almost impossible. But it is what it is. I understand for the fans, it's exciting. Any other positives for we got consistency, we have maybe make some umpires better. Yes, Mark?
I just wanted you to talk a little bit more about the ABS system. You said it had to go in 8.5 inches.
Yeah.
It has to go within, because the strike zones are 3-dimensional box.
They don't have a way to measure the third dimension.
No.
They don't have a way to measure the third dimension.
Not yet, that's why I'm opposed to it at this
Because
point.
they can't tell
Technology
them.
isn't there.
Yeah, they don't.
You're right.
But
It's gotta go, the
It has to
ball's
go-
gotta at least reach half of that box, 8.5 inches.
in.
It's 17 inches from top to bottom.
In 8.5 inches.
It's before it can be even registered by ABS.
Okay, so that ball has motion on it.
Yeah.
So when it hits the front of the strike zone, it's a strike.
Yeah.
And then it curves out.
Yeah.
And it does that within this 8.5 inches, what are they gonna call it? It hasn't registered at
Ball.
ABS.
They're gonna call it a ball.
The second, if you challenge it, and it can't be registered as a ball or a strike. Well, first of all, it's gotta travel a certain distance. And so if the umpire calls a strike, it hasn't gone even 8.5 inches, okay? And they challenge it, well then the umpire's gonna get reversed. Because it's gotta go at least that far.
He's gonna get reversed,
Yeah.
even though the ABS didn't register?
No, it's gonna register,
Oh.
but it's not gonna register a ball or a strike. You see?
No, it's
Yes,
gonna
Mark.
register a ball.
When the catcher,
Right.
frame. So I heard this the other day, that it's gonna be a reverse frame. Now, catchers are gonna be able to move the ball away from the strike zone, and it's gonna be a strike. The batter takes a look at where the catcher's glove is, and he's gonna challenge it, and he's gonna lose. He's gonna lose.
The Yankees staff has talked about doing that.
Right.
There's nothing official yet. Look, the catchers are trained a certain way over the years. They're not all of a sudden gonna start doing this. They're gonna bring the ball down. By the way, that's not framing, that's yanking. Framing years ago is when you caught the ball on the corner, okay? You kept your glove right there.
Right.
You held it right there. You see? So the ball's coming in 95 miles an hour. Number one, that's a lot of pressure. You gotta have a pretty strong catching arm to keep it right there too. Okay? Now over the years, what catchers have been doing is, if it's a little bit outside, they do this. They're good. Or if it's a little bit high, right, they did this. Well, the umpire's not supposed to look at that stuff. Umpires look at this is where the ball is. That's what the umpire's job is. When the player does this, or does this, he's telling you that the pitch is not for you. Yes.
Yeah, the other thing about this system is that if they're gonna do a challenge, they have to do the challenge almost
Immediately.
Right away. They can't be, the umpire sees them turn to the dugout, it doesn't, it's denied.
It happened to
You
Red
have
Snyder
do
the
it
other day.
Right when it happens.
Yeah, happened to Red Snyder where he challenged too late. Okay? The umpire says,
Can't be challenged
No good.
from the dugout. It's
no,
gotta be
it's
the
got to be
catcher,
pitcher,
the
batter
batter.
immediately. Okay? Okay, yes, Bill?
What if a batter you know, swings and his hat's loose and he goes like that,
Yeah?
can he say, no, I didn't mean to do that? What happened to
I
him?
don't know.
Well, a lot, I've seen that too on games that I've watched, you know, in the last week or so. I've seen a, you know, guy just kind of fix his helmet after the swing and, you know, spoke about that.
Oh,
Well, if you have that problem,
Yeah, the players adjusting.
Yeah,
yeah.
They have to be careful about that.
Well, first of all, if you know that that could be used as a challenge, as a batter, you better be careful.
Yeah. But
Wait till it's your second before you adjust your helmet. That's all. Okay? Don't do it right away. Yes? Rudy?
There was a former major league umpire, I forgot his name, but I remember what he said. On opening day,
Yeah.
umpires have to be perfect and then get better as the season goes on.
Right.
And this is exactly what this nonsense is about. I am totally opposed to it, okay? Can we do something in our world without technology? Can a game be played with human beings, nothing life-changing about it, without technology?
Yeah. I listen.
Now, with this system, okay, they have to decide whether they're gonna stick with it as a challenge or go automatically to what automatic strikes on. There's no in between. It's a trial. They're either gonna have to drop it or say, this is really getting, some of these umpires are just fishing too many pitches. They have to go to automatic strikes.
Let me ask you a question.
This,
Right there.
when this here, when an umpire like this,
Yeah.
calls a pitch, a ball, or a strike, he's right. Either way, he's right. You can't put a nap in between.
Play here, so if it's within that micro, so small,
Right.
stay with the umpire.
That's why I say, make the system 2 inches.
It's gotta be.
Gotta make the strike call 2 inches off the plate, back.
You mean program it for them.
Oh,
Yeah,
you can do
exactly.
that.
Program for that. Okay, yes, okay. I said years ago, how do you calibrate the perfect system? You can't because of the rule that says when the batter's about to make a swing, they're all different. People have a different way their body adjusts. How do you do it? So what is the umpire supposed to do? He's got to go by what he's been trained to do over the years. The way I was trained is that you keep your eyes, what you think is going to be your line at the top of the batter strike zone. Okay? So if the batter strike zone is right here, you get down, your eyes are right here. So if the pitch is a little above, it's a ball. If it's right there, you got a strike. That's how I was trained. Okay? If I'm told now that look, it's going to be .53.5 or 35.2, 38.2, whatever it is, how do you do it? I couldn't do it. It's almost superhuman. So you know, I say, I'll go along with the system, but it's got to be egregious. It's got to be egregious. Okay? Richard?
On the WBC, they didn't have the automatic appeal. And it was a third out, in critical time, and there was so much criticism. Why does Major League Baseball allow the broadcast to have the box and create that controversy? They should stop it. But the system is so good, the technology, they used this in tennis years ago, I mentioned it. The round of the ball, it is so good, it can tell if the round of the ball hits the line. That's how good this stuff is.
Yeah, I know that.
And I'm kind of for it. I'm not for it for all the entire game. I can live with 2 appeals. And it's so quick, Rich.
Yeah, I can live with the current way you're using two challenges. Okay, I can live with that, but to me, I hate to see where they see an umpire was reversed 5 times last night, 6 times. Because he's worked already probably 15, 20 years counting the minor leagues. He's got a certain zone. You don't change that overnight. I don't care what the rule book says or what technology says. It's not fair. Next day in the paper, C.B. Buckner, 6 blown calls. You know what? I just don't get it.
That's not good.
You know?
Yeah, that's what they did.
Before you go further, you're good friends with Dan Antonio. Have you talked to him about this?
Very briefly.
I want you to, for the next 2 weeks, your homework assignment is this. Ask him what he thinks of it. I'd be curious.
I don't think he
still challenging in the 8th inning, I would say that umpires have, according to that, they're having a bad day.
These people, all this technology, have never been on the field. They're all brainiacs.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, they're
Leave
very
the
bright
game
people.
away, leave it alone.
And they're so impressed. I remember when I was with ESPN, I was out in Oakland, I was telling you, my boss came in, and when we got talking before the game, he was all for this ABS system. I mean, for the whole game, every pitch. I said, you'll never see it. He said, why not? I said, well, it's hard to calibrate, okay? Morgan Sorter, who was an executive with MLB, he said before the season, what we're trying to do is find out what the players, and all the players, pitchers, catchers, batters, what they really feel is a strength. Well, we've been trying to do that for years. That's what we try to do. Anybody's been an umpire, you watch other guys work, and if they are successful umpires, you see where their strike zone is. So when you go out there, you try to almost emulate them, you see? Or you watch the center field camera on a baseball game, okay? If you're seeing basically where they're calling balls and strikes, if you're a young umpire, you better stay with that, okay? So, you know.
Rich, do you think, who do you think has the advantage in this?
Well, they think batter. They think the batter does.
The batter does.
Yeah.
And I think Major League Baseball pushes that because they want more offense. And these pitchers today, I tell you, the last year or so, I never found that baseball was boring. But when you have two pitchers, one with 12 strikeouts and the other one with 11 strikeouts, and there's runs are scored by 2 home, that's a boring game to me. You know? So they want to make sure that there's more offense.
Well, the pitchers know a better spin today, too. These
That
harder, they have better spin. The pitchers are, look at last year, National League, we had one guy better than 300. Who was it? Yeah. Who was it? One guy better than the National League. He won the National League title back in 304.
All right? Turner.
Trey Turner. Trey Turner. Yeah, Trey Turner. So 304 was the batting title. That's it. Okay, but that's baseball 2026. So what I'm saying is that the reason is, no doubt about it, hitting. Well, what you're hitting against pitchers, a new pitcher every few innings. Once you get to the 6th inning, they're getting guys from 98, 99, 100, okay? This is a very tough era to bat. Very tough. You got a guy like Judge last year, batted 331 with 53 home runs. That's highly unusual. Yes. When Trey Turner wins a championship batting 304, here's a guy combined power with average. Ted Williams like, right? That's why I thought Williams was one of the greatest hitters, because he combined power with batting average. Very few guys can do that in baseball. Okay?
So let's just look at something.
Right.
So we got teams that are 5-1 this
Yeah.
year. You think they have the same comments that we're having about the ABS system? I mean, they were able to get through the ball games, do whatever they had to do, and the Yankees are one of those teams, and they have been very successful for some reason. Don't ask me why they're 10-1 or 11-2 or whatever they are. Okay?
Yeah.
So I don't know if that means there's an advantage or a disadvantage. I mean,
We'll see. Let me ask you this question. The Yankees have been very successful so far, thanks to their catcher, Wells. He's got a good eye. Maybe he'll make a great umpire one day. Who knows, right? Okay? Because ball players are all umpires, don't forget. Every player today becomes an umpire in the system, correct? Yeah. Every player, right? So let me ask you this question. Let's say Bill over here is batting, and it's a 3-2 count, and the ball is definitely a ball, way outside. Umpire calls strike 3. You don't challenge it. You go back to the clubhouse and they say, hey, Bill, what are you thinking about, man? You couldn't challenge that ball's way outside. How many ball players this year are going to get reamed out because they didn't challenge or over-challenge? They have a tough job the way it is. Never mind being an umpire. Another reason why I don't like the system. You're putting pressure on these guys. Now, the first week is, I call this one April Fool's Month. It is. When it comes to records, stats, crazy stuff happening. But in my opinion is that there are some guys, they say, I want nothing to do with it. Like a Schindler, Yankee pitcher, and who's the other big pitcher, Sale. He said, I want nothing to do with it. I'm not I don't want to leave that field after the game, and if I was a catcher, work the whole game, have my manager call me to the clubhouse and Rich, that one pitch, man, we should have challenged that pitch. And you didn't challenge it, and the guy got on base and eventually scored. How am I going to feel after catching the whole game? Okay? It's ridiculous. Because I blew the challenge. See, now people, you got to look at it, there's a lot of depth involved there. Just to look at the technology of the system. The technology is great. I'd say it's probably pretty accurate, except for what I said before about the high strike. Okay? We got to get going. There's 2 more comments about this. I got to get going. One, two, here we go. Chris.
Real quick one. 20, 30-year-old guys playing a game, making a whole lot of money.
Yeah.
Ain't no pressure. I'm sorry, I disagree with you. I wish I had that kind of pressure in my life.
Well, I'll tell you what to do, Chris.
I'm making $5 or $10 million a year.
Were you ever an umpire?
I did a little bit when I was younger, yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't know how many games, but I'll tell you what. I'll tell you a quick story. Years ago, I was working with the Blue Jays. We were in Dunedin, spring training. One of the coaches calls me in his office. He said, we got a problem. Who? I'll keep that private. So anyway, he said, we got a problem. What? We got a player in our team who gave the umpires a bad time last year. Or it was a few weeks ago. It was the previous season. We didn't get a call the rest of the year. So I said, is that right? I said, well, 2 things. I said, that guy was complaining about the umpires and showed the umpire really bad. It wasn't just a mild argument, it was bad. I says, in spring training, have him put on the gear, have him umpire 1 or 2 spring training games, have him call 500 pitches. Okay? See how he feels about calling balls and strikes after that. I guarantee it, it's changed. Anyway, so I said to the guy, well, you better call Joe Torre. Joe Torre at the time was the Dean of Discipline in Major League Baseball. You know what Torre told him? If you want to get that umpire to change, or the umpires to change, you think that you're getting, you have to call Joe West. You know who Joe West was? He was a big umpire, okay? All right. Country Joe West.
The Godfather.
Okay? The Godfather. Get to him, he can pull the dog.
Country Joe.
Country Joe. So you're telling me now, we got, is this the baseball mafia? You know, what is this? You got to call in the Godfather to tell the other umpires, look, okay, lay off the guy. All right? We have enough. Are you serious? You see? So, in that case, the ABS system might work pretty good. I don't know. But, okay, one more. That's
One more.
Why?
It's a funny story. About pressure.
Yeah.
When Richie Garcia, this story.
Yeah.
His wife called him one afternoon while he's on the road and said that they're having a little problem in school with his son in junior high school. And she had to go speak to the principal and all that stuff. So, she's telling him, when you get back off the road, we got to do something. He goes, honey, do you have my schedule? Don't you have my schedule, don't you? And she says, yeah. He says, how many times do I have to tell you not to call me with any issues like this the day I have the plate? And you know what she said? Buster, I have the plate every day.
Right. My favorite four-strike story about the Giants years ago. They had a team rule. When Leo DeRocher was manager of the Giants, that if you got 2 strikes in the batter, okay, you don't throw a strike. The count was 0-2, you don't throw a strike. The count was 0-2, and the pitcher threw a strike, the umpire called the batter out. The pitcher said, no, that was a ball. Okay? Where's your discipline? We're going to see a pitcher happen just reverse the other way. Okay? So, guys, last point, go ahead.
Question for you. Do you think Major League Baseball is pushing this to try to modernize the game like the other games, football and basketball, and bring in technology to get more fans and eyeballs and people in the seat?
Well, I think it's good for the fans because they can see this, and if it works good for your team, yeah. If it doesn't, you don't do it. But I don't know for sure. I'm not sure of the economics of the whole thing. But let me ask you a question. Do you think T-Mobile, that powers all this stuff, do you think they have any kind of economic influence in Major League Baseball?
They're advertising every quarter.
They're advertising all over the place. So let me ask you a question. If you're getting big money from T-Mobile, are you going to bite the hand that feeds you? No. So you wonder how much of this is politics. I don't know. I hate to think that way. But I'll tell you right now, man, I am skeptical as hell. Let's put it that way. fans, but to me, it's not good for the game. That's way I would put it. All right. Let's get. I'll show you a few. Now we'll look at a few of these plays. I just mixed the tape with different role situations, including the ABS. And this goes back to spring training. All right.
And here's the pitch down.
I watched it.
Fly ball in the shallow right center field. That's going to fall beyond anybody for a base hit. And the Cubs got 2 runners in third. There goes the turn to second. Now the runner strikes again. He's out. Now they got 2 runners in third. This is going to turn into a double play. And then even a triple play. Going over to third, there were 2 guys on base. And the backup runner who got tagged first is the guy who's going to be called out.
Now, when 2 runners end up on the same base, which frequently happens at third base, the lead runner has the right to the base unless he's forced from that base, which is seldom happens. The trail runner, okay, 2 runners get tagged out, the guy who's in the back, he's out. Sometimes the lead runner, who doesn't know the rule, he gets tagged, because everybody should get tagged by the defensive player, that's what they're all taught. He steps off the base, and they're going to double play what you had here. Now, what was the third base coach doing here? Nothing. What's he doing?
What could he do? You
see? Now, this is what teams should be worried about rather than a half inch off the strike zone. You see? So, anyway, let's continue. You'll see it again.
The runner at third leaves the base, and he's going to be tagged down. It's a triple play to end the inning. Oh, wow.
Unfortunately, we can't see the tag off.
To the game. Here's the pitch down. There's a fly ball in the shallow right center field. That's going to fall beyond anybody for a base hit. And the Cubs got 2 runners in third. Here goes the turn to second. Now the runner strikes again. He's out. Now they got 2 runners in third. This is going to turn into a double play. And then even a triple play. Going over to third, there were 2 guys on base. And the backup runner got tagged first. He steps off. And now the runner at third leaves the base, and he's going to be tagged down. It's a triple play to end the inning.
You got that game, Jeff? You're right there.
Yeah, and the problem was
that was versatility. So what happened?
The third base coach stopped the first guy at third.
Right.
When he should have sent him home. Bregman was the guy coming behind him. And Bregman, he had no place to go. And so the third base coach made 2 poor decisions. Number 1, stopping the lead runner.
Right.
He would have scored.
Yeah.
And number 2, not telling the lead runner stand on the base.
Right.
He did nothing.
Right.
And
Now, you know what? I get this question quite a bit from teams. What should we do about alleviating this type of problem? My opinion is this. If I'm running from second to third and I see there's somebody already at that base, go back. If anything, maybe get into a rundown. So maybe you'll be out, maybe you'll get the obstruction call even. But to end up with 2 guys on the same base, there's no rule against that. Only if both are tagged, but now the rule goes into effect. Meaning that the lead runner has the right to the base, the trail runner is out. If they both get tagged, you know, double play or a triple play. You see? So what I'm saying is, to me, the way to alleviate it, preventive medicine, is that if you see a runner, say it's a rundown between third and home. Happens all the time. The trail runner now is taught, get to third base. Because the guy in the rundown most likely going to be out. Well, if you see he's got third base, stay in the rundown, fall to the ground, get tagged out, whatever, but don't go back to the base if you see there's one of your teammates there. It's very simple. Don't make it complicated. Whoever gets to the base first owns it. The other guy, go back to the previous base where he came from. He'll probably be out. But so what? At least you won't get a double play. Very simple rule. But anyway, that's what these people should be talking about. Let's keep going here.
Position the first catcher and pitcher for the Athletics this season.
Schumann goes. It's a swung on a miss. The throw to second. It is interference. So interference at the plate. And that will
the batter.
Here in the third, a double play. There you see it at home plate.
So he goes into the catcher's throwing lane. When you do that, the batter's out, and if it's strike three, the runner is also out. He's going to second base. You have a double play. If it's strike two, the batter is out. However, it's a delayed dead ball. If the catcher does throw through and you call the runner out, then the runner's out, but the batter stays at bat, which you never see. When you get an interference play like this, and many people think that Carlton Fisk was interfere with in a 75 World Series game, okay? But anyway, that's called batter interference. And
There's interference because
about his versatility, played every position for first catcher and pitcher for the Athletics last season.
Cuban goes. If you swung on a miss, the throw to second. It is interference. So interference at the plate.
So if need be.
Getting extra running in, do a lot of running on the backfield, getting in games if need be prior to, but it's a evolution of the schedule, evolution of what's needed. I'm sure the guys from
last year, how do you prepare yourself for that to make sure you can?
watch the batter, catcher.
Getting extra running in, do a lot of running on the backfield, getting in games if need be prior to, but it's a evolution of the schedule,
you know what happened there?
what's needed. I'm sure the guys.
Here's what happened. The throw down to second base, the fielder blocked the base with his with his foot. As the runner was going back, that's obstruction. Okay? You have to have possession of the ball now before you block the base. Years ago, if the throw was coming towards the fielder, you see it was an active fielding the throw. Not anymore. Happens a lot of times now on a steal situation. The catcher throws down. Over the years, fielders, what they would do is they would get their knee and block the base with their knee or with their foot. Now, the rule is, that ball's coming down, you can't block the base until you have the ball in your hand. Then you can block the base. Same thing with the catcher going home, you see? So there's a much stricter rule about that than it was years ago. Okay? Here's what happened. You can see his foot is over here. So he's blocking the base for the runner. The runner's giving the third base. That's what that was. Doesn't make any difference. He's blocking the base without the ball. See the ball? Here's the ball right here. See? The ball's not flat yet. He's over here. If he had his foot over here, got the ball, made a tag, he could start.
Bounces it past Schemes behind circuit. Running toward the wrist. Back in there. With minutes in towards second, so he knew they had a stiff in the back, and runners were able to get there with the tag.
Now when a runner makes a turn towards second, with the intent to go, so when the runner goes down the first base line, he can walk back to first base either direction. Makes no difference. When you make any slight move towards second, like your intention was to go to second, now you're in jeopardy of being tagged out. The slightest move.
It's a tag play, right?
It's a tag. Yeah. Okay? All right? So it's the slightest move, and that's all umpire judgment. That's umpire judgment. But the slightest move, you can be called out in tag. So the catcher on this play, or the people in that dugout, have to watch the runner carefully to see if he should be tagged. Okay? However, if you go down the line, you can come back and walk 3 or 4 feet in third territory. As long as he's walking back to first base, he's okay. Foul territory. But you go down the line and you think that it's a wild throw, I'm going to second, I make one little move, one little jab step, now I'm in jeopardy of being called out. All right?
You still can go back to first.
What's that?
You still can go back to first, even though he's dead. He's on the base, right? He's still good, right?
If he gets back to the base in time, yeah. Wait.
He got the swing and a miss. Smith corrals down to first, one away. Now, listen
Harper's playing first base for the Phillies. And what he tried to do is he tried to distract Harper by going outside of the 45-foot box. Okay? And Harper didn't like it. Okay? And if he got hit by the throw and the defense didn't complete the play, I think the umpire would have called him off for interference. But because the defense completed the play, there was no interference call. So watch this play. Now what they did a couple of years ago, they extended that 45-foot area from the foul line, from that box which is 3 feet wide, to the dirt side of the fair side. So now they got about 5 feet for the batter run to go home to first, which for right-handed batters makes it much fairer today. He can go directly from the batter's box to first. Under the old rule, he had to cross over into that 45-foot box, or he could put himself in jeopardy of being called out for interference. So watch what this batter runner does here, which did not make Harper too happy.
Cool right there. Like, you see 102, and you're going to get the bat out going quick, and all it has to do is spin and not stay in the zone. It's a little bit of a dirty play when he was running the first.
You know, all the see where he is? So right now he's running illegally. If the defense, you know, the dirt side, you're okay. Over here, you got to go by the line, by the 3-foot wide box. So where he is here, he's illegal. The defense has to complete that play, you can call him out.
There it is. This is Miller's 8th pitch to Perdomo. There it is.
Now, you watch that pitch carefully, and I think if the ABS system was used for that, it might have been changed, because it looked low. Right? Okay? So here's a case that, yeah, all right. What did the catcher do? What did they do? You see? So if the umpire is influenced by the catcher yanking it, it makes it look like a better pitch. But that does make the difference between that game.
Two on Birdie. Out of the players. Ooh, cross up. It's Jeremy Ray.
Nothing you can do about that.
Yeah, he's expecting a little breaking ball there, and that is center off the bat. So.
Unless the umpire thinks the catcher let go purpose, you can't do it.
There's only one out. Professor's moving. I don't know if he thought there's 2 outs or he's running with a pitch, but he's able to get back because of his hit. So he was trying to steal an unexpected bag right there. Stolen bases the last 5 years. Look at that shot. Already third, right? Did he touch it on his way? Yes, he did. Looked like he did.
Oftentimes when the players into a base gets to go back, they'll miss the touching the base with either foot.
What happened to his...
That's what this is being reviewed for, but he did touch it. Here we go, watch this. Over.
So he gets the side of it when he goes, slips off the back.
Oftentimes when the player crosses over like that, okay, he misses the base with either foot. You've got to touch it with either foot on the way back. And because the sight line is so close, players aren't thinking about it, and they lose their concentration, they get called out on appeal. There's another play where the fielders got the umpires. They got to see, watch carefully if the runner did not retouch properly. Happens a lot of fly balls to the outfield going from back to third to second, so, okay?
It's a better look right here. Lucky for him, that ball instead of flying. 260.
Red Sox
Looks like he wanted that heater up again. And, he was heading off the hill, and here comes the challenge. The ball catcher challenge. We'll see. First one. And walk up the field. Off they go.
Strike three.
ABS powered by T-Mobile.
Strike three.
Sharp play knocked out by Stewart. He's in pain. Anthony will be safe at first. And Sadon down to second. And Stewart got absolutely smoked.
I just took this one because
110.2 off the bat. Mixing that first one up the middle was 112. This 110. Stewart got handcuffed him, but it probably got him right off of that forearm, and he just froze. That's when you're worried. In fact, you can't even go just pick it up. He just stayed down the whole time. Watch this, got off the bat. Oh, right off that forearm, off the glove. He just goes down. And the kid hitting the ball 110, 112 off the bat. You're at first base, keeping the guy close. Tito out there. With moments of dominance in the sweeper there. The challenger. This is the catcher challenge. Number is 1 for 1 already here today. ABS powered by T-Mobile. An inch of a year in the seventh inning. Houston haven't lost one yet. Missed by 1 inch. They say a 2-inch miss is a bad challenge. 2 inches. Across for strike.
Back-to-back pitches.
That's what we expect to see a little late in games. So he wins that.
0.3 inches. 0.3.
ABS powered by Team's youngster.
Umpire is challenged.
And the 3-2 pitch, the runner can go with 2 down. Meyer taking off. And that's in there for strike 3. Well, he wants to challenge it.
Is we're holding the game up for 0.3 inches.
3/10 of it.
It takes about 10 seconds.
You're a good math guy, right? 3/10 of an inch.
300,000.
Well, once again, this is my opinion. You might think Marazzi is full of lemon from home today, but I'm giving you my opinion. I think overall, I would stay with the system, but I hate to see umpires get criticized for saying they missed 6, 7 calls based on 0.3 inches or whatever.
That's why you need the umpire union to say, if you're gonna talk about that stat, talk about the average that they missed the volume or something.
The umpires union is not going to dictate the T-Mobile. Right now.
3/10 of an inch is not.
This is the precursor to making it work all of the time without the umpire.
That's what some people think. You mentioned that the other day. However, what I understand is the players, even AAA, they do not want the system on every play, every pitch, either to the umpires. For me personally, if it ever got to that, okay, if it ever got to that, I would lose a lot of my spirit for the game of baseball. If every pitch is called by a robot.
I agree.
That's just me personally. Okay, everybody's different.
How many times are we gonna go to sleep here? Powered by T-Mobile.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
Powered by T-Mobile.
I think it's a commercial thing too, right?
They're advertising.
Or for advertising. Absolutely. You see? So that's why I wonder how much of this really is whatever. All right, look it. I want to have Ken come up here and tell us a little bit about the great pitcher Christy Madison. 10 minutes. Then we'll pay tribute to Bill Marazzi, who passed away about 5-6 weeks ago. And Yankee fans will cringe watching the home run again. But it was history. Go ahead.
Rich, did you know his funeral?
No.
Good morning, everybody. I'm here to share some comments about Christy Matthews, also known as the Gentleman's Hurler, the Big Six, or the Christian Gentleman, Matty. He was born in 1880, small town in Pennsylvania, near Factoryville. His dad was a veteran of the Civil War as a teenager, so he has that backdrop of a war experience growing up. His mom wanted him to be a preacher. He would not pitch on Sundays. The Sabbath was very important to him. But he really didn't miss a lot of games on Sunday because most of the towns, Boston, Philadelphia, New York, wouldn't allow professional sports on Sunday anyway. He also was one of the first major leaguers who went to college. He went to Keystone College and then Bucknell. He was a very good football player, played fullback. Walter Camp said he was the greatest drop kicker in intercollegiate football. He kicked a 48-yard field goal in one game against Army, I believe, and on a bad angle, and he made it. At the time, I don't know if you're aware, but the footballs were much rounder, so you could drop kick the ball. So he broke in with Taunton, Massachusetts. He was, I think, 0-13. Had a terrible start as a 19. He started playing professional baseball at age 14. He was offered to play in Pennsylvania. He had asthma as a kid, so he struggled a little bit with that, and we'll see his health later on as well. First year with the Giants, 1900, 0-3. Second year, 1901, 20-17. His salary was $1,500. And he did have insurance. He opened a little insurance business. He made some other money, but he was not getting paid a lot. The next year, 1901, 20-17, 1902, 14-17, 1903, 30-13. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. 1904, 33-12. 1905, 31-9. His ERA was 1.28. Phenomenal. 1906, 22-12. 1907, 24-12 with an ERA of 1.43. 1908, 37-11. Phenomenal. And he complete games. They didn't have a lot of relievers. They didn't have a middle relief and a setup man and a closer. He went 9 innings. One of the things that made him a good pitcher, he learned early on in his career, I don't know if you've ever heard of the term as an in-shoot or a fadeaway. The fadeaway to him was a screwball. The screwball, from what I gather, when it's thrown, you come up and over, and instead of you turn your wrist the opposite way, like so. So on a right-handed batter, it's going to in-shoot. It's going to curve into a right-handed batter. And his fadeaway was very powerful. And he had a very good fastball, not overpowering. Excellent biting curveball, but the fadeaway was his pitch. Now, when you pitch for 15 years and you're torquing your elbow the opposite way, you're already throwing, which is difficult for your shoulder. But when you're coming down and twisting your wrist and elbow in the opposite direction of your energy, it takes a toll. And later on in his career, it did. 1906, 22-12, 1907, 37-11, 1909, 25-6. He had an ERA of 1.14. Absolutely astonishing. 1910, 27-9. 1911, 26-13. 1912, 23-12. 1913, 25-11. 1914, 24-13. And then his last 2 years, 8-14 and 4-4. So he faded out a little bit then. He went on afterwards to manage the Cincinnati Reds. Some of the interesting parts of his checkered career, literally. He was the second vice president of the American Checker Association. He was a very, very good checker player. He was down in Cuba, they were barnstorming. He played 6 people blindfolded in checkers, and they would tell him where the moves were, and he won the bulk of the games. He would hustle. He was working with the West Point Cadets, and they made a bet that he couldn't throw 20 pitches over the plate consistently. He thought about it for a minute. He had $50 in cash. He put up the $50. The catcher was there. frame 20, he threw the fadeaway, curve, and fastball. 20 in a row, right over the plate. Phenomenal control, excellent pinpoint control, kind of like a Maddox, if you will. Not an overpowering fastball, but when he was in a jam with the bases loaded and no outs, he reared back and he threw up extra hard to maybe get that strikeout when he needed it. He was not, he got a lot of strikeouts, over 2,500, I believe, but he was not a strikeout expert. A little bit also about his career. After he was done and he managed Cincinnati very briefly, he went into World War I, he enlisted, and he was sent over to France, and he worked with Chemical War Division. And Ty Cobb was with him, and Branch Rickey as well. And at that time, in order for them to train to go into the German trenches, they were exposed to some of the mustard gas. Ty Cobb was gassed a little bit, but not significantly. Apparently, Christy Mathewson was exposed a little bit more, but at the time there was also the influenza, the Spanish flu. So he may have gotten a combination of the Spanish flu plus exposure to the chemical gas. He came back to the States and he developed tuberculosis, unfortunately, and that really changed things around. But what they think is he had diphtheria in 1903 or 1904. He had diphtheria, and that may have contributed to his lack of lung resistance to the gas. But he ultimately moved up to a sanitarium in upstate New York, Saranac Lake. He was married to his wife. They had one son who served in World War II. But to understand some of the backdrop of Christy Mathewson also, 1910, you may have recalled, there was a big heavyweight title bout between Jack Johnson and Jeffries. And Jack Johnson knocked out Jeffries at the time. Terrible race riots, awful, throughout the country for many, many very serious race riots. But Christy Mathewson always maintained his Christian values. He was very honest. There was one play in which the Giants were actually got the benefit of the doubt on a call, and Christy Mathewson would not go with it, and he said no. The guy was out, and it cost him the game and perhaps the pennant. But he was a very talented guy, well-spoken. He was an afternoon idol. People would flock to see him. They loved him. He was so, at the time, baseball had a very bad, or to a certain extent had a bad reputation. Drinking, violence, womanizing, etc. And Christy Mathewson always maintained his faith. He didn't want to disappoint his mom, even though he wasn't a preacher. He tried to follow his Christian ethic throughout the game. He was highly respected for that. He was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 1936, posthumously, and Bucknell University has a stadium named after him, still very popular down there. And an interesting sidelight, in St. John's Cathedral of the Divine in New York City, there are 4 stained glass windows. One of them has Walter Camp on it, and one of them has Christy Mathewson. There's 2 baseball players in that cathedral, which was very, very
I have a
beautiful.
question.
Yes, sir.
What was the World Series where he pitched 3 shutout?
1910,
1905.
1905. He pitched 3 shutout games. First game, 3-0, the 3-hitter. Second game, 4-hitter shutout, and then the third game, I think 6 hits a shutout. Phenomenal. He threw a couple of no-hitters during his career, but that was his peak during the World Series. 3 shutout games in 1 World Series. Fantastic player. He was a good golfer. One story goes he liked to play golf, and he had just pitched, and so he decided to kind of take French leave and go out on the golf course. They needed him to relieve, and the manager called him back quickly. He just wasn't at it. He got rocked. And after that, he got fined, I don't know, $500. But he paid the fine. He says, I'm guilty as charged, so be it. But he was very, very talented, and a real gentleman, a real Christian citizen of the U.S. and a hero in many regards. Any questions at all?
How
Yes.
old was he when he died? He died young.
45 years. It was 45 years.
By the way, Ken Margot here, he still plays baseball, only Ken 76.
Yeah.
He still plays in the over 75 league.
Well, that's in Florida.
In Florida.
We have a new 72-year-old division starting in Cranston, Rhode Island next month.
You're a catcher.
Sometimes when need be, yeah.
How about that?
Two other times. He had two other brothers. One brother pitched very briefly for the Giants, and another brother committed suicide in I think 1906 or so. And if any of you have ever had someone who committed suicide in your family knew him, it's such a tragic circumstance that it really affects the person's psyche, etc. But he rallied from that, and he came back, and he still performed at a very, very high level. Yes, sir.
Oh, really? Yeah. I got a, yes.
This time, how many games in the season?
154, I believe. Approximately.
So look how many starts he made per year. On the average, he made about 40
or more. Yeah, and most complete games.
Now they average about 30 starts a year if you make it through a whole season. Okay? Okay. Jim instead of the Mets. How many games? You got
373.
We had a little finger in it. What we had set up? Christy Matheson, the blonde Viking from Bucknell. All right, let's see if I got this set up.
But do so in front of the whole team, he meekly agreed. Ruth had his worst season in 10 years. It seemed that his best years were over. Why should God wish to take a thoroughbred like Matty so soon? And leave some others down here that could well be spared? Kennesaw Mountainlands. Christy Matheson, the Christian gentleman of baseball, had never recovered from the after effects of the poison gas he had inhaled in France during World War I. He had tried to return to the game he loved after the war, first collecting evidence that helped uncover the Black Sox scandal, then as president of the Boston Braves. But he could not get enough air, coughed up blood. Now, Jane, he told his wife at the end, I suppose you will have to go out and have a good cry. Don't make it a long one. This can't be helped. Christy Matheson died on October 7th, 1925. The next day, at the second game of the World Series between the Pittsburgh Pirates and the Washington Senators, the flags flew at half-staff, and all the players wore mourning armbands. John McGraw, his old manager, tried in vain to blink back tears.
south. Okay? So they call it 102. Now, where all those fields are down below, where you can see, that's where the soldiers trained. That's where they lived. And the officers lived across the street, okay, to where the baseball field would be in that area now, you see. Now, there was a dog in the neighborhood named Stubby, okay? He was a mongrel. And he hung around with the soldiers all the time. And one soldier befriended the dog, and when they were dispatched, and they were deployed to go to France, they smuggled Stubby on the ship, okay? Stowaway on the ship. They get to France, and as Ken was telling you about the poisonous gas, which, as we all know, is a terrible thing in World War I, okay? Stubby, at one point, was a victim of the poisonous gas. And from that point on, I believe he was able to determine, okay, when the Germans set off the poisonous gas. He would start barking, and he would make the soldiers, the U.S. soldiers, aware of the poisonous gas so they could take cover. Well, they estimate he saved a lot of lives by doing this. When they came back from Europe, he was a guest at the White House. He was honored by the country of France. All right? Stubby, they call Stubby the military dog. You go home today, those of you who have a computer, you go home, which I'm sure you all do, you go home and put down Stubby the military dog. It's a great story. And I think it was a movie made about it. Sergeant Stubby. Yeah, Sergeant Stubby, right? Yeah. And in the West State Military Museum, I don't know if any here has been there, there's a big wall mural of Stubby. Okay? And when I got involved with the Yale book that I did years ago, I went to that museum, and our good friend Bill O'Brien, we took pictures and so forth, but I thought it was one of the great World War I stories that affected us locally here, Stubby the military dog. So, yes.
I had
Bill?
a great uncle, and it happened to him, he was in a platoon, and they went into a barn and laid in the hay overnight, and the gas was in the hay. But he lived a good life. He smoked the black top stones, and we had a garage in Bridgeport, a two-car garage, and I don't know if you know, they had the cobblestones in Bridgeport, but they had copper wood in our garage. He took, when they were taking up a road in Bridgeport, my grandfather and him got this wood, the copper wood, and made a floor in our garage with the copper wood. But he used to tell us the stories about, the guys he fought with. But that's where he got the gas from, sleeping in a barn, and the gas was in the hay.
World War I, former President Howard Taft taught at Yale Law School, and in the baseball field, he had a very large seat just for himself. He weighed about 300 pounds. And his son Charlie played for Yale in 1960 or 17, Anyway, okay. Trivia. I'll give you some trivia quick. See if you're writing an alert today. Ready? You gotta raise your hand. Oh, by the way, we have a couple of books here. This book's on Derek Jeter.
That's
Ken? Ken. Oh, Ken? Is it your book?
No, that.
This one? Oh, okay. Christy Mathewson.
Yeah, whoever wants it.
Great. Now you want it? Okay, good. And when you get done with it, bring it back. Anybody else may want to read it and so forth? And I got Derek Jeter. Anybody want to read this? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, when you're done with it, bring it back. All right, here we go. Here we go. In the 2025 World Series, the Blue Jays out-hit the Dodgers 75-53 and lost. What team out-hit their opponent in the World Series by 31 more hits? 91-60 belongs to the World Series.
1960.
Raise your hand and I'll call them. 1960, Yankees Pirates. We will look at the Marazzi thing next week. All right. What current player emerged as a World Series champion in his first 4 World Series appearances? He's still active. His first 4 World
Barger?
Who?
Ashton Barger?
No. Madison. Who? No. We're getting warm.
Will Smith.
Right?
Will Smith.
No. No. Mookie Betts. Okay? Mookie Betts with the Red Sox, 2018, and with the Dodgers, 20, 24, 25. Okay, those are 4 World Series he's played with so far. And the team he played with has won every year. Okay? In Game 4, here's one for you. In Game 4 of the 2025 National League Championship Series, Ohtani hit 3 home runs and allowed 2 hits over 6 innings pitched. Okay? On June 23rd, 1971, okay, this man hit 2 home runs and pitched a no-hitter. Which one had the better game? First of all, who was the guy that pitched no-hitters? John?
Is it Jim Malone?
No.
Black and blue?
No. He pitched for the Phillies.
Holiday.
Rick Wise. Okay? On June 23rd, 1971, Rick Wise hit 2 home runs and pitched a no-hitter. So, okay, and the second part to that question was, I said Ohtani, okay? All right? Who had the better game? Rick Wise, no-hitter, 2 home runs, or Ohtani, Game 4, 6 innings pitched, hit 3 home runs, and gave up 2 hits over 6 innings. We'll take a vote. How many say that Ohtani had the better game?
Who won the game?
Well, they both won the game, but one was in the, how about you say Wise?
Oh, there.
Oh, you got to think Dodgers. All right. Who were the last 2 Hall of Famers to play their entire career only in day games? You got to think about this. Ernie Banks? No. No. Played their entire career and never played a night game. Both in the Hall of Fame. You saw one of them briefly today on the screen, Joe. Babe Ruth is one. Never played a night game. The other one is Lefty Grove. Now let me ask you a question. What position did you think Babe Ruth played? Left field. How many say right field? You know he played almost the same amount of games between right field and left field? And the reason is, he didn't want to play in the sun field. So any ballpark that had in sun field, okay, in right field, he played left field. That was it. All right, the Babe. Very good. Okay. And what ballpark was the first night game in baseball ever played?
Cincinnati.
Crosley Field. Very good. Okay. Okay. The following day, what Hall of Famer hit 3 home runs at Forbes Field? Babe Ruth. And you know, after his 3rd home run, he came off the field and he sat in the Pirates dugout. Yeah. And some of you would never see today. But he sat in the Pirates dugout. Today, I don't think the umpires even allow it. Okay? And it was just a shorter trip to go back out to the outfield. Okay. All right. This currently active player, Madison, you want to know this one? This currently active player is the youngest player to hit 4 home runs in a game. He did it last year, on July 25th, 2025. The youngest player ever hit 4 home runs in a game. Who is it? Ray, you ought to know this. Nick Hertz. Nick Hertz with the A's. You know, it's amazing. We're such a regional sport, baseball. Things happen west of New York or Pittsburgh, whatever. We don't even hear about it. There's a kid, his 4 home runs last year. We got the greatest baseball minds in the country right here, right now. We can't figure this out. Right? The best baseball minds in the country, right here. Okay? Yeah, that's right. All right, good. What player hit 4 home runs in a game playing for the Cleveland Indians in 1959?
Rocky County.
You got it. Rocky, my man, Rocky Calavito. Very, very good. All right? This rookie National League catcher hit 35 home runs in 1993. Who was it? Rookie National. He's in the Hall of Fame today. Mike Piazza. first base? Who was it? Who? Galarraga. Now, in those days, if we had the video replay, then, okay, we would, okay. And the last one, 1983, this player homered 35 times and was chosen the American Rookie of the Year. Who was it? Ron Kittle. One more thing I want to show you. I'll show you next time back. It was a play the other day. There was a runner on second base, and it was in the Cubs game. No, it was the game that he sent me. Jeff?
Oh, that was the Phillies and the Nationals.
Who was playing?
Phillies and Nationals.
Phillies and Nationals, right. The Phillies manager got a check. Here's the play. Runner on second base, 2 outs. Batter is a shot down to first base. The batter runner, okay, beats the first baseman to the back. The umpire calls the batter runner out for 3 outs. Okay? I got a picture of this. Guy's on second base now. Thinks maybe the inning's over. Takes a wide turn around third. He's not sure what the hell's going on. The ball comes into the catcher, and they finally tag this guy. They review the play at first base, and the guy was actually safe.
Number 5.
You see? Okay?
Number 5.
Number 5. Okay? Right. So, the Phillies manager, Rob Thompson, he argues that the guy who ran on the third, his intent was to go home, so the inning should be over. Okay? Instead of putting, so what the umpires did was, they checked with the replay official, and the replay official says this. He says, they made the incorrect call at first base. The guy was safe. Okay? And he put the runner, who was running third, back to third. And he went by the rule book. The rule book says, if umpires make an incorrect call, the call could be corrected. You had to place the runners to the base they would have made had the initial call been correct. So I backed the replay official's call there. But do you have the idea now? Okay? Because I think when video replay first came about, everybody was taught, keep running. Don't worry about the third out of the call, okay? But now what they're thinking is, you know what? The out call at first base could affect the defense, right? Well, the inning's over. Maybe the first baseman is not alert to the runner going home. It could affect the offensive player, too, because he thinks the inning might be over. He's not really running hard. So why punish him? So what they do now is basically is, if the play is corrected, okay, the replay official will put the runners in the place they would have been if the play was originally called correctly. Got it?
I have a question on
Yeah.
the rules that you sent out.
Yeah.
This thing now, the ABS and the stolen base or something. I don't know
Yeah.
what it was.
Runner on second base steals third base. Okay? The pitcher makes his pitch, okay? And let's say there's 3 balls, 2 strikes in the batter, and the umpire calls ball 4. I'm sorry, counts 2-2 on the batter. The umpire calls the ball. Call is reversed. The runner who stole third base had nothing to do with the impact of the change, ball strike call. Okay? So he stays there.
He gets a stolen base.
It's stolen base. All right? It's common sense, right? So it's not an impact to reverse the ball strike call. All right? If he gets thrown out, he's out. He's out. He's out. Okay? Because he
Works both ways.
right. Now the other day, Roman Anthony for the Red Sox, he had a 3-ball, 2-strike count, and umpire called strike 3. He was running on first base. Umpire called strike 3. He challenged it, won the challenge. He walked. Okay, went to first base, man on first base, went to second. Next 2 batters, back-to-back hits. They scored 2 runs because of that one change. With that one change call, 2 runs came out for that one pitch. Who the hell knows? Might have been by this much. You see? Is that what this is all about? No, I don't think so. So now that you're all brainwashed, you go home and say, hell with this ABS system. No, I think it's fun. Don't get me wrong, I think there's a fun part to it, but how could a pitch a micrometer off, okay, millimeter off, could affect
either way.
2? It could have gone either way. So then let the umpires make the call. That's what I said.
this an experimental move?
Not that I know of, experiment. As far as I know, they're making changes to it, but look it.
I think they should.
If this is being sponsored by T-Mobile, actually, this guy's gonna be around for a while. Yes, and then yes.
Personal story about the strike zone.
Yeah.
Back when, about 25 years ago, I was assistant coach for Antonio Bay Ruth team.
Yeah.
And the coach was a catcher, been a catcher, always playing games. And he had the boys all out talking to them before a game. So he asked the kids, "Where's the strike zone?" And they all started, "Well, it's here, here." He said, "No, it's where the umpire calls."
That's right. You guys remember, you guys know Jack Ahern, he's our traveling secretary here. Jack Ahern, when he umpired years ago, if anybody asked him, where was the pitch? He said outside the strike zone. That was it, okay? Yes.
And that play prior where they turned it over on first base and the other guy got him out at third. That ended the play because there's no timeout. If that guy kept coming home, is he out now?
Look at it this way. Look at it this way. When the umpire looked at the replay, as far as he was concerned, when there was an incorrect call at first base, the play became dead right there.
That's what I'm saying.
Play became dead. So what he did was, he gave the batter runner first base, and he said, now what do we do with this guy that was tagged out as we turned home? Where would he have been if the call was made correctly at first time? So, in other words, you can't penalize the players for the umpire's mistake.
You were saying it's dead right there, so that's,
Yeah.
I get that part.
We don't see that in writing, but basically that's how you got to think about it. Okay? Thanks for coming. Hope to see you in a couple of weeks. Got some baseball cards.
Yankee Clipper. That's a 1:30 game. It's going to be nice. It's going to be nice and sunny.